What's going on, guys? This is Tony with Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always, and coming to you today to do a video game review on WCW Nitro, the PlayStation 1 game that, well, I'm going to save you some time if you want to jump to the end of this video because this game was awful. This is a 1 out of 5. This game was awful. With that being said, if you want to hear some of the details and give me about 2 to 3 minutes of your day, let's jump right in. Here's the information you need to know, or information about the game itself. This game was released in late 1997. It is the follow-up to WCW vs. the World, which was actually a very, very good game that we will talk about in another video. It is the second WCW game on the PlayStation 1. It is the 6th WCW title released. Excuse me. So keep that in mind as you go through this video. And then the game eventually, you start with 16 wrestlers, you get up to 48. That's about the best I can talk about this game. Compared to what was coming out at the time, in 1996, you had the WWF Power Pro Wrestling, which I vaguely remember, but 98 you had Warzone, and 2000 you had SmackDown. So that was kind of the timeline of video games, and then they had Backstage, Assault, or Thunder was in that. We'll talk about those as well. The reason I started with this game is because, first off, I was able to find it incredibly cheap, and I've had it for a while. It's one of the things I got as credit for working at a game store. One of the things that drew me to this game was I didn't remember much about it because you had WCW Revenge, which was on the N64 only, and it was 1998. It was a little bit more of an advanced version of this game. But again, Thunder in 99, and it was Mayhem in late 99. So they had a good year and some change between release dates here on the PlayStation. The pros is that the 16-man starting roster was pretty great. And it was less fake characters than the previous versus the World game. NWO was on the game. I don't care who you are. If you watch wrestling at the time, you gotta love the NWO. And Hulk Hogan and the former WWF stars, I love how much of them there are in this game. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Luger. It's great. Future WWF stars as well, like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. The cons. Horrible controls if you wanted to have a wrestling match. If you wanted to have like a just street brawl, okay. The camera angle, so at the time we thought the camera angle was pretty revolutionary. And even looking now, I could still understand that thought. It's awful. You have no control over it, and I hate that. Another big issue for me is there's no match variety. There really isn't anything compared to WWF where they had all sorts of different matches, or they at least expand on it. Whatever happened to World War III, the match? Like, why wasn't that ever included in a video game? Or maybe it is, I just haven't found it. Who knows? I kind of focus on this one game, but I'm pretty sure there's no video game that has a World War III format on it. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's going to be hard to find, and it's going to be cut up. It's not going to be the full rendition likely, but it was good. It still didn't have the deep roster or lore of the WWF, and it was actually taking characters from it. So I consider that a con just as much as a pro, but more of a con because you're taking the guys that are trying to leave. And then playing it today, there's really no story or anything. It's just a basic fight. So the overall here, like I said, I'm giving it a 1 out of 5. This game is just, it's garbage. The nostalgia keeps the score from being like a 0, but the controls, the camera, they're not good. If you had WCW versus the World, you played that and you thought, oh, this game's pretty good. This was not the best step forward. So if you want to play a piece of video game history that's also a garbage $2 or less game, this is your buy. It takes some time to learn the controls, and it takes some time to kind of master that, but if you take that challenge, it can be fun. The move system is choppy. It's not very fluid, but it's still fun when you figure out what you're doing, and you get to play as a lot of different characters. So, but I think that's all I got for this garbage fire game. Hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Tony K. This is Urban Girl Scout, and we're signing off.